Information, the first principle of warfare, must form the foundation of all your efforts. Know of course thine enemy, but in knowing him, do not forget above all to know thyself. The commander who embraces this totality of battle shall win, even with the inferior force. Spartan Battle Manual.
The UN Starship Unity has arrived in the Alpha Centauri system after a 40-year voyage. All contact with Earth has been lost. After Captain Garland's assassination by an unknown assailant, the crew mutinied and split into factions. In the ensuing conflict, some seized control of the Unity's colony pods. You now shape the destiny of the faction you've chosen, and it is up to you whether you bring it to a prosperous future or a ruin. And if you aim for the former, you must know your faction. There are 7 factions to choose, each with their own distinct advantages and disadvantages. And for this video, I have decided to arrange the factions from the most conquest-oriented to the most builder-oriented. And to start it off, I have decided to go first with the most infamous and well-known one, which is...
The righteous need not cower before the drumbeat of human progress.
That's right, I'm talking about the Believers. This faction is easily the most conquest-oriented faction of all the base game factions. They may be infamous for some, but for me, they're my favorite faction. They start off slow at the beginning, but once they keep going, they can be hard to stop. Let's take a look at their stats and see why they've earned their spot as the most conquest-oriented faction. The Believers have +2 support, +1 probe, attack bonus from beliefs, -2 research, and -1 planet. Let's start off with the support bonus. Every base has a mineral upkeep towards units, and every 2 units are free of that upkeep at 0 support. The upkeep reduces the minerals towards production of the next item, and can cause bases to have no or negative production if this upkeep exceeds the base's minerals input. Whereas others have 2 mineral upkeep free units per base, the Believers have 4. This means that the Believers can field larger forces than the rest of the factions while still having productive bases in the long run. While Yang can also have +2 support from Police State, he has an economy penalty, making Golden Ages much harder without secret projects compared to Miriam, who can run free market and reap the benefits of a +2 economy. The Believers can also run Democratic and still get free minerals per base, making Democratic still a viable government choice in her expansion phase. The Believers also enjoy a +1 probe to their stats. This means their probe teams are slightly better than average and that their units are harder to mind control. It may not seem much at first, but once the Believers switch to a fundamentalist government, they now have a +3 to probe. This means their probes can easily reach elite stats, giving them better success rates and move more. On top of that, Believer units cannot be subverted by enemy probe teams, making mind control stats against them out of the picture. Finally, they have their most dreaded bonus to be on the receiving end, the attack bonus. Early on, if a rival faction happens to get synth metal armor, units equipped with lasers will have a hard time breaking through, especially in fortified terrain or in a base. But the Believers enjoy a +25 attack bonus modifier to their units. This makes even their lasers hurt more until plasma steel. And if they so happen to have impact weaponry, your best bet of defending against them is either attacking preemptively or stacking up on perimeter defenses backed up by sensors and ECM units, with 2 of the options requiring a Tier 2 and Tier 3 tech. This bonus persists even after early game, so with good tech, expect the Believers to hurt a lot. If they get choppers in mid to late game, they're a force to be reckoned with. And this attack bonus applies to missile units as well, so keep that in mind. All these bonuses, however, do come with downsides. Their biggest weakness is a -2 to research. Not only are their lab research slower by 20%, they also can't research any new techs for the first 10 turns. They will have to dedicate their early game to spamming scout patrols until more options become available. This can potentially make them vulnerable early on, especially against the Spartans, who already has a tech needed to bully other factions. This research penalty isn't the end of the world for them, however, as good base building and good population management can get them some good research, but until then, they will have to resort to trading or stealing them later with probes. They also have a -1 to planet, making them more likely to anger planet whenever their bases get lots of mineral income, and they have a slight penalty to psi combat. It isn't too harsh, however, as units with good morale can still fight effectively in psi combat. Miriam should stay away from free market, however, whenever she attacks a mind bomb or a psi force, as the attack penalty would make attacking them extremely difficult. In terms of social engineering choices, they prefer fundamentalist and cannot choose knowledge. As an AI, she won't get mad if you do choose knowledge, but if you do choose democratic or police state, expect her to call your government as godless. She can, however, choose democratic, something her AI cannot do. So one advantage of the human-controlled Miriam is that they can choose one of the best governments in the game and only have to worry about Yang while making Lal happy, and still be at normal support like the rest in doing so. When playing as her, aim first for Centauri ecology like every other faction, then go for either biogenetics for the recycling tanks or doctrine mobility and applied physics to bully other factions early on. If you do get information networks too, aim for non-linear and spam impact rovers in bases with both command centers and recycling tanks. If you get the faction to surrender, you are one step closer to victory. Against her, however, you need to out-tech her early on. Drop any ideas of peace and head straight for war immediately. Get impact or laser rovers ASAP before Miriam has a chance to build anything. She has a 10-turn stagnation in her tech at the beginning and will have to research a bit before she can commence any proper conquests. Do not give her doctrine mobility or applied physics while she is unable if you do not want a hard time. All in all, their whole toolkit is catered around endless conquest, though their support bonus can still be used to maintain numerous farmers and still be a good builder. In terms of which victory they excel in, I give the believers a perfect 10 in conquest, 6 for diplomatic, 6 for economic, and 3 for transcendence. As stated a while ago, believers hit hard and in large numbers. They are hard to stop if they can steal your techs. They can expand rather quickly, thus more potential population, netting them a 6 in diplomatic. They can maintain a large force and still have productive bases to allow them to build lots of energy banks, and can make decent cash, thus the 6 in economic. And finally, the believers' research penalty can make transcendence take longer to reach than other factions, although it's doable and it's a fun thing to do. That's all for this video. In the next video, we'll tackle on the dreaded Orwellian underground dictator guiding his people to enlightenment. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you want more guides on Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. Until then, how will you lead humanity's future in a new world?